Inside your knitted wire kit is a French knitting dolly with wooden pick, yarn, easy bend wire,
a plastic yarn needle.
To begin, thread the end of the yarn through the hole in the center of the dolly, from the top to the bottom. Wrap the yarn at the top of the dolly around the first metal loop in a clockwise direction as shown. Repeat until all 4 loops have been cast on. Repeat again until you have 2 rows on each metal loop. Insert the wooden pick under the bottom yarn on the metal loop. Do not insert it through the metal loop. Lift the bottom yarn up and over the metal loop, and then slide it off of the wooden pick. Repeat until you only have 1 yarn left on each of the metal loops. Then repeat wrapping the yarn around the metal loops so you have 2 yarns cast on again.
Again, insert the wooden pick under the bottom yarn on the metal loop and lift it over the metal loop and off the pick. Keep going until you only have 1 yarn left on each metal loop. Make sure to pull the yarn tube down occasionally to stop it from bunching up in the dolly and so it can flow freely as your work gets longer. Carry on repeating the process. Wrap the yarn round the metal loops, lift the bottom yarn up and over the metal loop, slide off the pick. Repeat until there is 1 yarn on each metal loop. Pull the end of the yarn tube and repeat. Keep working this way until you have approximately 5 to 7 centimeters of yarn left, then you will cast off your knitting. To cast off, lift the first yarn off of the first metal loop and slip it onto the metal loop to the right so the first metal loop has no yarns on it. Now lift the bottom yarn up and over the metal loop and slide it off of the wooden pick. Again, lift the yarn off of the metal loop and slip it onto the metal loop to the right so there are 2 metal loops with no yarns. Repeat lifting the bottom yarn up and over the metal loop and slide it off of the wooden pick. Repeat lifting the yarn off of the metal loop and onto the next one, so there are 3 metal loops with no yarns. For the last time, lift the bottom yarn off of the metal loop and slip it off the wooden pick so you only have 1 yarn left to cast off. To finish, thread the tail of the yarn into the plastic needle. Using the plastic needle, lift the last yarn off of the metal loop, thread the needle through the yarn loop and pull to secure. Pull the yarn tube out of the knitting dolly. Weave in the end to secure. Thread the needle to the loose thread at the other end of the tube and weave in the ends. Now it's time to feed the wire through the yarn tube. To do this, stretch out the easy bend wire to make a long straight length. Insert the wire into the yarn tube and feed it all the way down. Here's a little tip. If you're struggling with this part, you can fold the end of the wire over to make a blunt end. Once the wire is secure in the yarn tube, use the template in the instructions to bend your knitted wire into shape. Your knitted wire word is now finished. Hang it up or place it on a mantelpiece to add some festive joy to your Christmas decorating. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new content.